You're listening to the We Are Libertarians podcast network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com.
Are you a diehard comic book collector?
Or maybe a lapsed fan?
Maybe even someone who has never picked up a comic book in their life. Hi, I'm Remso Martinez.
And I'm Mark Claire. Every single Wednesday at the Second Print Comics podcast, Remso and I take a deep dive into the storylines, character arcs, moments, and events that made us the fans we are today.
Tune in every Wednesday for new episodes available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and wherever else podcasts are available.
Check out more from the Second Print Comics podcast at secondprintcomics.com.
Prepare yourself. You're on the run with Remso W. Martinez.
Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. Wow, I got Reese's.
It has been a minute since our last Degenerate panel, but have no fear. The boys are here. Welcome once again. I'm Remso W. Martinez. You're listening to On the Run. We've got an episode today where we're not reviewing anything. We're not really discussing anything that we have probably done in the past. This is more like an observation episode. I was watching a Jim Carrey film that I thought I had seen at one point, but it turns out I had never actually watched it before. It's called The Truman Show. And, you know, you all probably know. I feel like I'm the only one that has never watched it, because when I bring it up to people that I just watched it for the first time, they're like, really? You just now watched it? And basically, it's about a guy whose life is basically a TV show for, like, other smaller people or something like that, but he didn't know it. And there are points in my life, and probably yours too, where, you know, we understand what our normal everyday life is. Life is not a movie. Life is not fiction. But life can be really freaking weird sometimes. And ever since, you know, the coup happened and everyone tended to lose their shit over the past year and a half, it's been remarkably more like reality TV in a way that I can't describe. And if you're a listener to this show, especially these Degenerate episodes, you probably think things are kind of wacky all the time for us. Not true. We live everyday normal lives. We have our jobs. We have our shit we have to get done. We pay taxes, people. We have to go run errands and stuff like that. But today we're looking at a few moments recently and in our past that have made us really think, wow, are we weird or are other people weird? But to kick it off, I can't do it myself. We've got the panel back. We got producer Derek producing tonight's episode. Derek, how is life?
Life is great. Life's great, RJ. Looking forward to another episode of Degenerate Panel. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. And as always, we've got 1/4 Persian Zed. Zed, how is life?
Pretty good, RJ. You know, I just realized that it's actually been 1 year since we started doing the Degenerate panel episodes. I believe
What?
Last May we recorded the graduation episode.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
it's
my
already
God.
been a year?
It's been a year.
Wow,
That's
and this
great.
is coming out in June. But
Really?
that was around the time that would have come out too. That is wild. Time has flown by, Zed.
That's crazy.
Wow. And we've got my best man, the only, Sean of the Military Industrial Complex. Sean, how is life?
Dude, I'm living it. I'm planning like the best bachelor party in probably the history of bachelor parties, and just happy to be chosen and trying to make your lucky night a fun night.
Thank you. I don't think anyone else is left out. Everyone here, it's going to be a Degenerate groomsman panel eventually, because Sean is my best man, and Zed and Derek are also going to be my groomsmen for my wedding in next spring, so spring 2022. So we've already started planning because, you know, we're awesome like that, and I'm super excited. This is so funny. The guys, like, really, we grew up together. We went and became adults separately. Then we came back together because degenerates draw one another. And we came back and we started doing this. And now we're all gonna spend one of the most stressful days of my life together very soon. It's touching. It's beautiful.
And one of the most fun times of your life together.
And one of the most fun times.
Hopefully it won't turn into The Hangover.
No, hopefully.
Or hopefully it will. You know, you never know.
Like,
as long as you don't end up on a roof.
Like, do people want that to happen, or is that like a cautionary tale?
Both.
A little bit of both.
Sean only has to bring me back alive.
Yeah, only RJ needs to get back alive. Everyone else expendable.
Yeah.
Sean, who do you think will be the first one of us to get lost or to disappear?
Oh, no.
Again, if it's just like us at this moment, it has to be Derek. Derek gets lost first.
That's fair.
Derek wanders sometimes. He talks to strangers. He wanders. He takes candy from vans. I worry about Derek. Derek is going to have to hold someone's hand.
It's going to be in the van.
I don't think he'll walk into the van. Derek, have you ever walked into another man's van?
I've never walked into a van before, RJ.
No, you're at that point where they could tell you're an adult because you've got younger features. So, like, you know, if it weren't for the beard, you would probably have been kidnapped.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, something like that. Zed looks like the older of us, but he's actually the youngest of us.
It's true. Yes.
Yeah, by like 7 months.
Yeah, and a bald spot, but you know.
No, your birthday's in August, isn't it?
Is your birthday this summer?
It's in September.
September. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. So you're like 2 months.
Yeah,
it's
because
like mine's July.
And Sean and I are both December.
I'm January.
You're January, right? You're right after New Year's. Right. Well, anyway, we're going to be talking about the moments that made us question, are we strange? Or are the people around us strange? But we have to go ahead and dedicate this episode to the Karens. The Karen meme started as a joke and slowly turned into reality. Karens across the country have made us feel more self-conscious about ourselves, but around the world, they have made humanity just feel worse for existing. We're going to go ahead. Humanity. I drank tonight. Has anyone ever seen me drink tequila? This is why I don't drink tequila. I didn't even finish my margarita, and I'm already slurring. But that's not the point. Let's go ahead and kick off with some Karen reactions to get the mood going for the freakouts to come. Mr. Producer, please hit play.
I'm putting you on citizen's arrest right now.
Are you serious? For what?
Because look how close you parked.
Okay, I'll move my car.
No, you're not moving your car.
Derek, okay, describe this bitch.
She looks like she's I want to say she's got to be like in her late 30s, early 40s.
She's got drawn-on eyebrows. She's got red leather seats, probably a stick shift.
Yeah. Like,
she's yelling at this Chad with a hat backwards. By the way, the hat backwards thing, people hate it. I've always found wearing a hat backwards is comfortable sometimes. Sometimes you just want to do that.
Pretty sure a Karen doesn't have a patience for stick shift.
Ooh, you're right about that.
Maybe she just loves her car too much.
Maybe. Or it's all she can get. Okay, go ahead.
We're staying right here till the cops come.
No, I'm going to move my car right now.
You're staying right here. Stop filming me.
Hey. Okay,
What?
I'll call you back. Hey, I have seen you around this neighborhood too many times. This is ridiculous. Your car is insanely loud. No.
Okay, Sean, you want to describe this?
Okay, these are the Karens that wear their yoga pants a little bit too tight, and the blood rushes to their head and says, "I can say whatever I want right now."
Yeah, she's got, like, I don't really have a job and I spend my husband's money on Amazon Prime vibes right now. She looks like she could be in my neighborhood.
And they're making car noises in a Lambo. So, like, I'm mad about that.
Yeah.
Your Lambo is way too loud. Why is your Lamborghini loud?
It's like she doesn't like nice things.
No.
Respect the Lambo.
There are children that live in this neighborhood. You need to drive somewhere. You know what? I'm calling the police. This is insane. Don't you even think about going anywhere. I'm calling right now.
Just drive.
This is insane. You cannot just be driving this loud car in this neighborhood at all hours. I'm calling right now. Don't you even think about going anywhere.
What would she do?
No. This is ridiculous.
What would she do?
He's driving off.
Hey, Internet.
Oh, I love this.
Man and his Doberman just attacked me and my Chihuahua.
It's not a Doberman. What are you doing?
He just bit me.
No, he didn't.
Bit me.
Pause.
You're on camera, you idiot.
Oh my gosh. Zed, do you want to describe what just happened?
It looks like she's being attacked by a ghost or something, because she's like, ouch, a ghost dog. Like, no, don't bite me. But she's like dancing.
A ghost Doberman.
There's no dog. There's no dog.
She's going to have to bite her own leg to make it seem believable.
She's like the adult version of Mattress Girl. Remember the NYU Mattress Girl who cried rape, carried a mattress around, blamed somebody, ruined his life, and then 6 years later said, yeah, I made it up? She's literally doing that on camera.
Like he's recording you. What do you think they're get away with? I'm sorry.
Okay, hit play.
Please.
What are you?
Okay. No.
She's on the floor now?
Doberman just bit me.
It's not even a Doberman.
I'm sorry, she's not a Doberman. She's acting crazy.
I like everyone's like, that's not a Doberman.
I want the camera out! Who gave you permission?
Holy shit.
I need your name!
Oh, what
this is a berserker class.
It's a Krogan.
Man.
This is a female Krogan.
In her car, you will find welfare checks, lottery tickets, insulin pumps.
She seems to be driving a 1994 Ford Taurus.
Yeah, drive. Just start driving.
Leave.
Public service announcement to any listeners. If you see this thing approach you, drive as fast as you can.
Oh, you just did an illegal phone thing. You always work here alone. What's your name and number, Norma Kay? You come here all the time.
I have never been here in my life.
That's a lie! Oh, give me the film and the camera. I've had it with you photographers.
Pause.
You're a photographer. Give me the card.
They're using phones. I know the story behind this one. They're using iPhones. This is like
What?
2 years ago.
What the fuck? I mean, it's on TikTok, so it has to be a phone.
Wow. Let's watch one more from this one.
Give me your card. You're here, Dairy Queen. Get out. Don't smart to me. You did before. I want the film. I want the camera.
What the fuck? We did wrong.
You're 1, trespassing. 2, illegal photographs. 3, you're not allowed. 4, you've been yelled at.
Sorry for the hassle.
No, you're not. You're doing it again till I do something to stop it.
I have a feeling this was the kind of person who took being the hall monitor in school way too seriously.
The power.
Stop! Where is your pass? Show me the photograph.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
You're under arrest.
You violated the law.
What's worse, this or I'm placing you under citizen's arrest?
This 100%.
Oh my god!
At least you don't get your ears blown out with the citizen's arrest person
by female Krogan.
Just don't go trespassing at Dairy Queen during the day, I guess. Okay, let's exit out of this one and go into the next video. This one I just picked randomly because the title alone sounded beautiful. Let's go ahead and hit it.
That day when July 4th at Target, you had your meltdown of sorts, but things kept spiraling that day, right? You went home and we have a clip of you in your garage that day. Let's take a look.
Can't give you any classified information. You don't have clearance. You don't have clearance.
Okay.
You don't.
You're
Pause.
Yeah. For the White House. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a clip from the doctors. Apparently, this was one of the COVID Karens in Scottsdale, Arizona. So apparently she had a freak out on somebody because somebody told her to wear a mask at Target. And then later on, the day after she was identified, the cops came to her house in Scottsdale, which automatically, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got to have money to live in Scottsdale. And this woman is not an unattractive woman, which means she's probably a trophy wife. So the fact that she's going full Karen mode, this is like the Scottsdale trifecta: hot, too rich, crazy, entitled.
Yep, she hits every check mark.
Okay, hit play.
Call Donald Trump and ask him if you don't believe me.
Do you have his phone number?
Do I have his phone number? I'm on the phone with him all the time. I'm wired.
Okay. I think we have enough here. Okay. Can you put down your phone?
No, I'm not going to put down my phone. Like I said, I'm wired. All this is being broadcast live.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, where is it being broadcast?
Everywhere, all over the world.
All over the world?
All over the world on Instagram, yeah. Millions of viewers. So, say cheese. You're on candid camera.
Okay, thank you.
Melissa, whatever you spin around and just put your phone down.
What?
It's okay?
You put your phone down.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Great.
They're arresting her.
You're doing it to me because I'm Jewish.
I have no idea.
You're doing it to me because I'm Jewish. This is a Nazi game.
Boss.
Jesus.
Did she just say you're doing this because I'm Jewish?
She did.
I like how she says we got millions of people watching all over the world, but then when you look, it says live 80 viewers.
Yes, for all the world watching right now.
What were you saying a second ago, Sean?
She owns a Range Rover. Yeah, she hits the trifecta.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. That makes so much sense now. You're doing this because I'm Jewish. Nazis! Nazis! Go ahead and hit play.
So, Melissa, I have to ask you, what are you feeling? What are emotionally?
Pause.
What do you feel when you see yourself?
Okay, Zed, crazy eyes or not?
Yes, crazy eyes.
Okay, Derek, crazy eyes or not?
Oh, 100%.
Sean?
I'm not a good person to ask.
No,
sure.
You go for the crazy eyes women, but can you identify them? Does she have crazy eyes?
Would you go for her? That's the better question.
Huh?
Yeah, 100%. She has crazy eyes.
Okay, so automatically, this is Queen Karen. The only thing she doesn't have going for her is that she's not ginormous or wearing Oakley sunglasses. Other than that, she'd be the meme.
I feel bad for women named Karen who don't have any Karen traits whatsoever.
I don't know a nice Karen, though. I don't know many Karens, but the Karens I know are not very nice.
No.
Okay, let's hit play.
In this video.
It's hard to watch. I mean, the level of delusions that I was having, it was like I could see visuals, I didn't believe anything that was happening was really happening. I thought it was something else. I mean, it's frightening. And unless you've experienced that kind of mental break, it's very hard to understand, what goes through your mind.
Mental break.
Also what comes out of your mouth.
Well, I guess their assessment at the time agreed with that. And in fact, you were put on a 5150 hold, which is a mandatory psychiatric intervention, and then the continued spiral that you described.
Well, at least she admits she has a problem.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. It's like bullies growing up in high school, not college. In high school, it's like, oh well, this kid has a problem because his parents are divorced, or it's because he has ADHD, and it's like, so what you're basically saying is he has an excuse to be an asshole because of something he may or may not have, just because him or his parents told you that. With this chick, what I see is just a lot of entitlement. And the fact that, that is what you can use as a cop-out. So then when people go ahead and call you out on your shit, it's like, well, I've got a mental disorder. And then that just justifies worse behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't buy it, but whatever. But this leads us into our main topic, which is the fact that people be crazy. People be crazy. And last week was one of those moments where you just have to ask yourself, did I really see this coming? And if I did, am I surprised? I wanted to go and go ahead and grab a shake from Sonic's. Hard day at the warehouse when I was working at the warehouse before I started the new job. And I went ahead and called everyone, and Sean and Derek were free. So Sean comes ahead and picks us up. We do a quick Sonic run. And then I ask the question that kicks us off, which is, hey, how was your day? And then that led to just one of the strangest things I've heard in a long, long time. In a year marked by strangeness. Which of you want to explain this? Because, Zed, you weren't on the ride with us, but you're part of this story.
He is. So, Zed,
I guess we can, I guess I could start explaining it because I initially, go ahead.
Okay. I guess I'll start explaining it then. So, So on this fateful day, Zed and I take a walk because it's a nice day outside. We're like, hey, let's just take a walk outside. And, I start walking toward his place. He starts walking toward mine, and we meet in the middle. Now we start walking. I'm not going to describe location here, but we start walking back, and we pass this
one place where people live.
Yeah, and
a residential area.
A residential area. We pass this one house, and we see this guy he's about our age, and he comes out like this. Imbecile. And then
comes out like Zoidberg from Futurama?
Yes. I'm not joking.
Do that one more time.
He comes out like this.
So
and then
he puts his hands in the air to make a claw motion, squats.
Yes. And then he reaches into his pants, pulls out his peener, and then he just takes a piss on the porch of his house.
On the porch.
Was he trying to get your attention?
He looked directly at us.
But before, let me reenact this. He comes out of his house. You guys are walking past his house.
Yes.
Squats hands in the air. Does a crab walk. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Looks at you, makes eye contact, puts his hand down his pants, pulls out his Johnson, pees off his porch while continuing to make eye contact with you.
Yes. And the thing is, I noticed this first. I never saw it. I never saw the Johnson. I just the angle. I never saw it. You know what? Let's
not
that here.
We're not going to bring race into this. We're talking about a person.
I'm just saying, some stereotypes exist for a reason.
I see that. I see the stream, and I connect the dots.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And I just tell. I tap Zed's shoulder and have him look over, and we both see it happening, and we're just like, what the fuck?
Well, it's funny. It's funny
because just whoops back inside.
Well, you see, the funny thing was when it was happening, and Derek taps my shoulder, and he's like, look, I'm looking, and I'm confused about what I'm seeing because Derek knows what's happening, but I don't, because all I see is a dude squatting, right, and a stream of water coming out. All right. I thought he was drinking water from a water bottle or something.
Water doesn't come out of a person, though.
No, but I thought
it was pretty clear.
No, I thought
he was hydrated.
I thought he took like a water bottle, punched a hole into it, and was like squeezing it. Because this person, he's an adult. He's our age, but he's kind of special. But he's coherent enough to know that doing something like this is not acceptable. I mean, but
so you're not excusing it because he's quote unquote special. It's still wrong.
Of course. I mean, I think I was talking to Doyle about this. Doyle, isn't this like the first thing because Doyle, you worked with special needs people. Isn't this like the first thing that, they teach you when you get an education as a special needs person?
You're going to have to deal with people peeing on you?
Just public urination in general. I mean, it's either they wear a diaper and that's the needs that they need, or at least teaching them that, yes, you let an adult know or yourself to indicate going to the bathroom.
But this is, I can understand that for people with learning disabilities and stuff, that is one of those things that you're going to encounter. But this person is they're getting close to their 30s. They should know by now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is Doyle, didn't you say, Doyle, that when a person like that gets to a certain age, if they are not within the view of their guardians, whatever they do, they're legally liable for?
Yeah. So basically, if he left his house and he went towards the elementary school that's near us, and a policeman saw him urinating on the sign, that's on them. And charges go upon him, not the parents.
Okay, so here's a question though, because like at least in the Commonwealth of Virginia, like I used to joke about going streaking, like that. When tequila makes my words slur and my clothes fall off. It's a thing. Apparently that makes you a sex offender. So if you and Derek said, if you wanted to call the cops because you happened to see his Magic Mike come out and peeing off his own porch, could he be technically a sex offender, or is he excused because he's a person who's listed as somebody who's not, mentally capable?
Again, does this happen while he's not under the vision or the umbrella of his
Who the fuck is gonna let their adult son pee outside the porch?
These people did, because we didn't tell the story.
Okay, yeah. So let me continue the story, but this is we're basically telling you about what happened, and so when Derek taps on my shoulder, I think that's a very. He runs out of the house going whoop, whoop, whoop. And this is normal for me because I know that.
Pause. Derek, please play the sound of the whoop, 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 because it's not just that. It's very distinct.
Exactly. Yes. Okay.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. And I'm not paying any attention to this when it happens because in general, I'm used to this individual in the neighborhood making weird noises. And it's something it's something you deal with, right? It's normal for him. So I didn't think anything of it. But when Derek taps my shoulder, says, look, and I see a stream coming down out of his pants, I'm like, why is he drinking water that way? Because I never seen him do this. I've seen this person for years in our neighborhood, but I never seen him do this before. So I thought he was like squeezing water out of a water bottle. But then I realized, oh shit, this dude's taking a piss. And he's like staring.
He's staring at us.
You see, that's the part that concerns me.
And his dick is pointing straight at us.
Look, we didn't see it though.
But you could. The stream indicated it was pointed right at.
He wanted you to see when he makes eye contact with you. That it's like the boundary of him being that being acceptable because he's a person of severe mental issues. He passes it. That's a deliberate action. That's no different than if I go out, I pee off my porch, and then I stare at my neighbor.
And I wanted you to keep in mind, we were across the street from him. Like he would have had to go across the street.
The thing is, right as we walked within the view of his house, he ran out and started peeing and looking at us. So he was waiting for someone to walk by his house.
Now he's just lucky that it was two degenerates from the Degenerate panel. Because if it was anybody else,
they'd be calling the cops by now.
Yeah, like what if it was like a woman or like kids? Because and I know this is deliberate because literally he's staring at us, and the moment we walk away from his view, mid pee, he stops mid pee and just runs back into the house.
He does not
right as we go out of his vision.
It's crazy.
Is this the same guy that goes to one of the elementary schools and does lawn angels?
Yeah, this is the same kid I told you.
It's the same one?
Yeah, and he rides his bicycle or he runs like a machine.
Like the Terminator, like the T-1000.
Yeah.
Doyle, let me ask, did he ever make these noises in elementary school?
I mean, I don't think so. When he passed by in the group of kids that he was with, I didn't hear anything. But, I mean, those kids were pretty well controlled through the hallways because they knew it's like, okay, time to quiet.
So, Sean, when did you find out about this later?
Oh, yeah. So, don't tell him about the continuation of the story.
There's more?
Zed
ended for me, not for them.
Zed calls me like, I'm very concerned. I don't know if I can walk home. If something happened to me and Derek. I was like, oh my God.
Sean, something happened.
I mean, okay, I was concerned because it's like, this person, it's not a child, it's a grown 26-year-old man. Yeah. And who knows what that person can do under his state,
And I'm thinking, okay, I have experience with these kind of kids, so it doesn't give me a license to like throw them away from Zed, but I can.
Well, okay, it's not a kid though; it's a 30-year-old man.
It's not a child. It's yeah.
Deal with
man.
So I run to Zed between Derek and Zed's house. I'm like, okay, So we're talking. So we see him driving past in his Lexus with his parents, and we were like, "That's the boy."
They drive a Lexus.
Okay,
Reducing his wanted level.
What I think happened is his parents saw what happened. They're like, "Oh shit, we need to get this kid out of the area for a few minutes, so like no one calls the cops or something." That's what I'm thinking, because literally 15, 20 minutes later, when we're walking back to my house, we got to pass his house again. His parents drive him back, and we see him going back to his house. So we think they took him out of the area for a cool down, wanted level,
GTA style.
GTA style.
And to get to Zed's house, we have to pass this guy's house. So we're passing his house again, and what do we see? He doesn't do the whoop, 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 whoop. He's already out there.
Pause. Derek, please, for people that are unaware. Okay, please continue. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. His pants are dropped with belt undone, peeing off his porch. And I am like, Zed, is this what you saw?
So what happened?
This is all in the same hour?
Same hour.
Same hour.
And I think he saw us from the car, and he's like, I'm going to get these guys again. Literally, as we pass into the vision of his patio, he's there turned, looking at us with a pee stream coming out and smiling like he was waiting for us again.
Yep.
And he's lucky he peed in front of 3/4 of the Degenerate panel, because anyone else would have called the cops.
So 2 questions. No, 3 questions. So the second time is when all 3 of you are going past?
No, just yeah.
Okay.
Zed is a lucky one that got to see it twice.
Okay, so Zed and Sean are walking past his place. Second question. When he did this again, was he already outside, or did he come out again and do whoa, 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 whoa?
He was already outside. He was waiting for us.
So when you walked past him, did he take off his pants then? Like, is this deliberate? Or were they already down?
They're already down. He was just waiting, and right as we passed, the pee stream started coming out again.
And you can see.
Did you see his Johnson?
On the brick stairs of his patio walk.
And he was smiling?
Yeah, he was smiling. And then he quickly stops and then runs back into his house.
Dude, I'd be calling the cops at that point. Like, seriously, I am a cold-hearted libertarian. I believe if you want to walk around butt naked on your property, you really should. But even I have boundaries when it comes to peeing off somebody's stuff.
And the thing is, he was making like moaning noises too when he was relieving himself. So it's like, I don't know.
Can you give us an example?
Like, like when you take a big piss after holding it in for like hours. Yeah, like that.
Okay, that. How loud was it?
It's audible from like 10 feet away.
Loudly peeing.
That's a loud yawn.
You can hear him buckle his pants back together as he's walking back inside.
There's nobody else outside watching this?
So what's weird? This happened right as he got home. So his parents parked the car, and not a minute after his parents parked the car, he's outside. So I feel like his parents just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what his room is like?
We theorized that like his parents are just like, okay, he pee outside, and then people call cops. Why do you?
The rug.
And then they're like, God damn it! Why are you peeing in front of Degenerate?
Why you gotta pee outside?
Why are you peeing in front of Degenerate?
How you drink so much? No more water. You go pee outside. No more water.
Pee in front of hot girl, not Degenerate. Degenerates won't call cops.
That doesn't make it any better. Oh my gosh! So when this happens the second time, like Zed, Sean, like, did you stop and just turn around and stare at him, or did you like keep walking and pretend not to?
Well, we kept walking. I'm like, Doyle, look, because I wanted to show him what I saw. No. Actually, Doyle saw it first. He's like, oh my God.
This is like a double rainbow situation.
I was like, is this what you saw? He's like, oh my God, two-time.
Oh my gosh.
Twice, like, we didn't expect to see this twice.
Yeah.
I did.
How I can believe that
Zed's the only one that saw it twice. Doyle and I saw it once.
And now whenever I go walk in my neighborhood for exercise, I always have to be like, on edge. Like, it's like, is this the day he's going to flash me again?
And is he going to run after me one day?
Yeah, is he going to start running after me this time or something?
I feel like if that happens, you have permission to shoot him.
Will,
no, I'm saying that with a stone face. Like if somebody, I don't care whether they have problems or not, you run at me with your dick hanging out, peeing or not peeing. If your pants are down and you're running towards me, I'm shooting you.
That's fair.
His parents start celebrating.
Like where's the line between like somebody who has a legitimate excuse for doing certain things and people doing things just because they're terrible people?
Well, see, it's understood that if you're a special needs person and you're just socially awkward and just can't do certain things, it's understood. But where's the line between that and sexual assault?
Yeah, like I
imagine a family walking by with a
genuine
small
question.
child. Like that's bad.
Yeah, so like this is a genuine question for Sean. Like I understand that for people that have some type of mental retardation or might be, somewhere on the spectrum, they still understand right and wrong. If they are raised in an environment where it's like they have people that are watching after them, they have to know the difference between right and wrong, right?
Yeah, and that is from day one, like teaching them in kindergarten or pre-K, whatever they're in, and then they go up. And even in high school, you can be there for 2 extra years. It's to prepare them for these moments so they can try to assimilate into society the best they can with their parents' assistance, as long as they're with their parents.
And going back to that Karen from Scottsdale earlier, when she tried saying, oh, well, I had a mental breakdown and everything. I don't care whether a psychiatrist said it was genuine or not. Like what she did, and it was caught on camera and everything, like that was very deliberate. That was extremely deliberate, especially when she's calling them Nazis and she's like, you're doing this because I'm Jewish. For her to then say with a smile on her face, oh, yes, I understand why it was wrong. It was a mental breakdown. I had no control of myself. That almost makes it seem like, oh, well, you just have to say that one time and get some people to believe you. And then that just justifies all your behavior. And now you've got this situation where it's like, well, this person has a history. He's known in the community as having some problems, but he's also an adult. And he should know what is right or is wrong. So it's one of those situations where it's like, I think I would have called the cops. Maybe not the first time, but to see it twice in the same hour, I'd be calling the cops. Because at that point, if he's going to do that, I'm sorry. I don't think there's a lot he's not willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, just like his parents trust him enough to be like, running, like, going around the neighborhood, just passing time. Because most of the time he's out and about just running around. So if his parents think he's responsible enough to be out in public away from their eye, I mean, this incident, I don't know. Because was this a one-time thing or was this always a thing and we just happened to run across it?
Oh, it probably always.
It felt like a weird scripted NPC event from like a video game.
Like I feel like there was a glitch in the Matrix or something.
Again, the brick was dried up with pee. And the rug was pushed to the side in front of the house.
Like, could y'all like imagine playing Skyrim and then just running into some random dude who walks inside of his house and
the same hour? That's the thing. The same hour. That wasn't days apart or months apart.
No.
This is like within a few moments.
I mean, I think it would be excusable if it was like a minor and it's like, okay, they have special needs, but this person's in their late 20s, and I don't think. If the society thinks you're responsible enough to go out on your own and do your own thing,
like
you shouldn't be doing that.
Like the luckiest thing that he had going for him was that he did it in front of 3 degenerates. If he did it in front of anyone else, it could have gone bad.
You see, when it comes to stuff like this, I feel like I'm kind of an asshole because I know what I'm about to say is unpopular, but I still kind of stand by it. It's like all the homeless people in and around Fairfax County. It's like you're not homeless. You're fully clothed. You don't have a bag or anything. You happen to all find Sharpies and cardboard. You're wearing like Eddie Bauer clothes, and they see you pull out your cell phone and you're saying, I'm homeless, God bless. It's like, you know what? I don't feel bad for you. Like, it's one of the situations where it's like, I think you're fake. And I don't want you here, and I'm not gonna give you any change or shit like that. It's those situations where it's like people are like, oh well, you should feel bad that they're even thinking that's appropriate. It's like, no, that's a deliberate decision. That's why I think for a lot of people, like in our area, and I'll even go as far as say a lot of the homeless in DC, a lot of it is a choice. I think a lot of people are homeless by choice. The only people I feel genuinely bad for are the people that you look at them and you're like, that person needs help. I was in Asheville, North Carolina, and I got chased by a crackhead for like 30, 40 feet. He was talking about fighting, like fighting black birds, and he's looking at me. He's like, what are you screaming? I'm like, man, brother, I'm not screaming anything. So it's like he would sprint towards me, and I would like sprint back a little bit, and eventually he just ran off into the other direction. But like that person, it's like even in that situation, because it's like he wasn't even really looking at me, because I could even hear what he was saying. Like if he had hurt me or something, he's 100% responsible. But it's one of those moments where it's like, even that, I know he must have been on drugs or something is seriously wrong with him. I feel bad for that person. Whereas with this kid doing it twice in front of strangers in the same hour, that sounds freaking deliberate.
This adult male, not a kid.
It's important to point that out. He's an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's weird. This was before everyone was stuck at home, though. Like, this is something that has been a continual issue with him, and I just people are strange, and I don't know whether things have gotten stranger or if we're just now noticing it more often.
I think it's both.
Yeah. Who's got another freak out story of something recent?
You want recent?
You got anything recent?
Or do you have anything good? It doesn't have to be recent.
RJ, you had your story, right?
Oh yeah. So, you know, we're talking about bachelor party stuff, and you know, everyone thinks Vegas in their mind. I've been wanting to travel more often, but I have a list of places that I don't really want to travel to, and one of those places that I would typically not go unless I had like a reason to go there, as in I would never go there by myself, is Las Vegas. But this is one of those situations where it was like, you know what, this is as I was in the car with Sean and Derek listening to their thing, I'm like, this is something that you can't, like, this almost sounds like it's scripted. It almost reminded me of an incident where I was in Las Vegas in 2017. I was speaking at Freedom Fest at the Young Latino Leadership Seminar that was joined to it. And I had some roommates because, you know, if you're a speaker in some situations, they're going to cram you in the room with like 5 other people. So I made friends of a few of them. They were also in attendance for that event. Long story short, we didn't get dinner for some reason. So it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. All our stuff is done. So we're like, hey, I'm hungry. And they're like, oh, me too. And I'm like, you guys want to go find Taco Bell? And we were like, yeah, let's do that. It's cheap because everything in Vegas is freaking expensive. So we're staying at the Bailey's Hotel. And according to the GPS, the Taco Bell is about a block and a half away. Sean's the only other one who's been to Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean, going like even a very short distance in Vegas takes a long time just because of the number of people there, right?
Yep.
So according to the GPS, just by walking, it should have taken less than 20 minutes. It took me and these two guys an hour and a half to get through. And I do want to preface that I was also kind of drunk, and they were too. But during this time, we leave the hotel. We're finally on the Strip. This is the first time the entire time there I'm actually on the Strip because I went straight from the airport to the hotel. The hotel, you could basically stay in the hotel the entire time if you want to. So this is the first time I'm out. And it was crazy. The first thing that happens is the little guy next to me, I remember his name, Matt Fennell. He's a Marine Corps officer now. No, Army officer. He's an Army officer now. He joined after that whole incident. Somebody like follows him and is like getting in his face, and then they give him this card. And I'm like, oh man, what'd they give you? And he's like, man, it looks like a baseball card. No, it's not a baseball card. It's got a naked chick on there and a bunch of phone numbers on the back, and it's for a call girl service. So he's like, oh my God. So he tosses that down. And as we look at the ground, we see that those cards are everywhere, and we all stop for a second. We turn around. You've got a bunch of these real shifty, like crackhead looking people giving out these cards. So, you know, the cops apparently they don't try and stop that just because there's so many. So it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, you know, these people are giving out numbers for hookers and stuff, but there's just so many, and there's so many everywhere. It's Vegas. They just let go. So we're just like, okay, that's kind of weird. And we're walking further, and this one guy is just following us. He's getting like really close to me, and I feel like his hand is getting too close to me. This guy follows us for about 2-3 minutes. He's trying to pickpocket me. Eventually, one of my other friends just like, hey man, back the fuck off. And because I was nervous, I thought this guy's gonna stab me or something. Luckily he was a bit braver, and the guy runs away. As soon as we walk through like this escalator bridge system to get from one end of the street to the other, we see like this one strip club, and it's got like those doors from like, you know, cowboy saloons and stuff, the swinging doors. Has anyone ever seen Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Okay. There are two strippers from that you remember. You remember the stripper with the 3 boobs, and then you remember the midget stripper. How many midgets have you ever seen in your entire life, guys?
4.
Okay.
I probably only seen one, but I don't even remember. I probably never seen one.
No, I don't think I've seen one.
Okay, guys, I saw two midgets at the same time, and
children don't count.
Okay, well, they were adults, and I know why, because they were strippers. I saw midget strippers fly through the doors. These 2 female midget strippers, both with their tops off, beating the shit out of each other. Jesus. And at first, I'm like, whoa, it like burst out in front of us. So the 3 of us are like, what the fuck? And we think it's a joke because people are like laughing and like howling and stuff like that. It's not until the one stripper like starts punching the other that I see one's tooth pop off. And you know when it's like you pop the top off a bottle or something, it's got that good clink, and it's like it flies across the table or whatever. It's like that nice sound of, oh, it's off, and you got it off at one time. That was her tooth. It was like pop, and it just scaled off in blood. So we're just like, what the fuck? So we're walking further and further, and at this point, like I'm just like, this is, I don't know if I'm drunk or not. So I'm asking my 2 friends, I'm like, am I seeing this? Are you guys seeing that? Are we all seeing this? And they're like, yes, Martinez, we're all seeing this. And this is where I have been very, very good about making sure that if I'm going to go out in public after drinking, I'm going to be good. Because what happens next could have been a situation that was not good. I see these 2 teenagers. They look like Bill and Ted. You had a long, tall kid with dark hair, and then a shorter kid who had backwards of long blonde hair. And they're wearing shirts that say Infowars. Now, this is back when Infowars was still allowed to be on the internet, kids, and it was funny and awesome, and Alex Jones made everybody laugh. Especially the first year after Trump. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but Alex Jones, at least on my Facebook feed, was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these kids have a camera on a tripod. They look legit for a moment. All I see is the Infowars and the camera, and they're like, hey, man, you want to be on Infowars? I'm just like, yeah, I want to be on the Alex Jones show. So they stick the camera in front of me, and they're like, okay, we're doing a montage. Just answer this question. What is CNN? And I say, CNN is fake news. And they're like, what else? I'm like, CNN is ISIS. And then they're like, what else do you want to say? I'm like, fuck CNN. Yeah. And they start howling. Yeah. And next, a bunch of people walking behind me. I see a group of sailors coming in because they're in their white sailor uniforms. And I see some guys coming from like a bachelor party. They all start going, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, fuck CNN. So it's really awesome. And the 2 guys I'm with, they're just like, yeah, this is something's up. So they pushed me along, and they're like, dude, we don't think those guys were from Infowars. I'm like, why, man? They had camera, they had shirts, and they're like, dude, look back at them. I look back at the shirts. The Infowars thing was written on with Sharpie. So, you know, we're almost at Taco Bell. Like, I could see it in the distance. It's like in the murky, you know, like shadowy dark world of the Vegas Strip. For in my mind, it was like Blade Runner type dark. I just see the giant neon Taco Bell. And this guy in a suit comes over, and he's talking to the one guy who got the homeless person to get away from me before he pickpocketed me. He's like, my man, you want to go in a limo? You want to get a whole bunch of hot mamas in your lap, man? Just come with me, man. $20, get you 2 beers, a limo ride, and any girl you want. We just go outside town, man. And he follows us for 5 minutes, literally repeating that until we get to Taco Bell. And then, like a robot, he's just, come on, man. And then just stops and turns around. So we get inside Taco Bell, and I'm just thinking, this is just weird. It should not have taken this long to get here, but it has, and everything else ensued. So we go in, and this is one of those moments where I really felt like maybe I either drank too much or somebody put something in my drink. I don't know, but I know it's real because I have photo evidence. I saw a man ordering 20 chalupas, but that was not the crazy thing about it. The crazy thing about it is that he was dressed as Batman. Guys, if you see somebody ordering Taco Bell dressed as Batman, what would be some of the first thoughts going through your mind?
Halloween.
It was July.
He's Batman?
He's Batman.
He had a traumatic, parental death.
Oh, there's a cosplay convention in town.
There was 2 weeks prior. Apparently, that man dresses as Batman every night to take photos of tourists. And the first thing he does is he goes in and he buys, and this is what he eats for dinner every night, 20 chalupas. I know because I asked the cashier.
20
chalupas.
That's a lot.
So I end up taking a photo of him. I tweet it and I tag Taco Bell Vegas Strip or whatever. And what's cool about this Taco Bell is that they have a giant TV wall. So one wall of the Taco Bell is just a TV, and it's showing tweets from people. So Taco Bell Las Vegas retweets my tweet of Batman, and it shows up on the wall. So everyone starts saying, look, Batman, look. And the guy turns around. He's like, oh, look, I'm on TV. Haha. So we're all laughing with Batman. And, you know, it's funny. So I'm just like, this is just a weird night. So we go get our food. We go sit down at an available table. And apparently what they also do when they're not taking tweets is they take photos of people eating their meal in the restaurant and they show it on the TV. So we're just like messing around, and I decide to flip off the camera. I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's going to see me. Well, it does. And next thing you know, the entire wall is just my smiling face flipping off everyone at Taco Bell. So Batman, who was also there eating, turns around and says, hey, everybody, look, that guy's flipping us off. So everyone looks at me and they just chant, ah, man. Some people are laughing. And next thing you know, a bunch of people are like, yeah, fuck you, man. So half of Taco Bell is flipping me off. So at this point, I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny. Then I'm like, some of these guys are getting really way too into it. So we run back out. And at this point, I don't know what happened. Eventually, long story short, of the three of us, only two of us get back. I don't know what happened to the second guy. I think he got grabbed by a homeless person. And at this point, me and the other dude are just kind of freaking out. So we're just like, okay, he's an adult. God be with him. We'll find another way home. We end up taking another 45 minutes to get through. And during this entire time, we see these guys dressed as the dudes from the Blue Men group, just like following people. And I think that, it's just one or two people. No, I turn around and apparently they had all been like following me like penguins because I dropped my cell phone, and they were all trying to find me to give me my cell phone back. And then as I turn around and thank them, I go reaching for my wallet, and luckily my wallet is there. But then I look around and I find that the second person I was with is also missing. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I just need to go back to the hotel. I go back to the hotel room. I fall face first on the bed, and I pass the hell out. And that was the one and only time I went on the Vegas Strip.
I feel like 15, 20 years from now.
The Strip, the quest for Taco Bell.
I feel like 15, 20 years from now, when you're running for political office, RJ, there's going to be a political hit ad that's going to come out. And it's just going to be the footage of you flicking off the camera. Say, fuck CNN. CNN is ISIS.
Why did
is
these
this the type
people,
of person you want running the country?
Taco Bell, it's an American staple. Where you take your kids, where you met the one you love. But this man decided to flip off an entire restaurant, and we have eyewitness account. You know who you trust? Your mom, your priest, but we all trust Batman. Yeah, I was ordering my chalupas, and that little motherfucker where I just flipped off the camera. And it's going to happen one day. I've just come to accept it.
That's funny.
But that's one of those moments in my life where it's like I look back at it and I still have to question whether or not all the events of those nights were actually happening or whether I was just so intoxicated. Like it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Did
you ever find your friends?
Yes, we all shared the same hotel room, so they came back and we talked about it, and they had some weird stories too. Apparently, one of them went to Walgreens to go ahead and get some Gatorade, and Walgreens at Las Vegas, like you can't really tell like the people there to actually buy things because apparently a lot of people just steal from there openly. So like he goes to do that, and he caught a couple like homeless people like having sex in the corner next to like all the alcohol that they sell at the back end of Walgreens or whatever. So like there was that. And then apparently the other one, like, I don't even know what happened to him, but I just remember he came back at 4:00 in the morning and he's trying to like take out his wallet. He's trying to get out of his clothes. And apparently what he just keeps finding is that those cards I was mentioning of the naked women and the phone numbers in the back, like he just kept pulling those out. And we're looking at him. We're like, dude, did you just keep grabbing those? He's like, guys, I don't even know how these showed up here. And so he grabs a trash can and he's just like grabbing out of his pocket. Like there's one of the like on the side of his collar. Apparently people were just putting them on him and in him. So he's like shedding like hooker collar cards and he's just like, what's wrong with the city? And we're like, man, we all know. Did you see the midget stripper fight too? Were you there for Batman? Some guy tried to pick my pocket, man.
Yeah, this place has Batman. Next, we're gonna see Green Arrow being like, "You have failed this city."
I was scared. Like that city was like RoboCop's Detroit and Blade Runner. I was so nervous. And what was worse was like the next day, because I couldn't be there for the entire conference. I had to come back. So I have like a 3 a.m. flight. Uber in Las Vegas barely works. I will say that. Uber in Las Vegas is hard because half the time, depending on what hotel you're at, they can't always get by to where the pickup section is. So actually, my recommendation for people is if you're going to need a ride around Vegas, rent a car, which is hard because of parking and stuff like that, or get in a taxi because the taxis have priorities. The taxis actually know where they're going. So I had a good experience. I took taxis like 3 or 4 times the couple days I was there. I had good experiences. But the last taxi, the one that picked me up from the hotel at like 2:30 a.m. to take me to the Vegas airport, this guy, he was just kind of shifty. And when we get to the airport, I'm paying him. He's like, okay, you're going to give me a tip, right? And I tip him on the iPad thing, and I'm about to get out. He's like, man, you should tip me more. And I'm like, okay, man, like, how much would you like me to tip? So he's like, how much you think this ride costs to you? And I'm like, well, I paid for the ride, and I just tipped you, man. I tipped you a little bit more. He locks the car door. And we just sit there in silence. He's like, what do you think is fair to me, man? I'm driving you here and everything. I basically paid for like 2 rides. I gave him like $40.
Man, just like straight up extorted you.
Yeah. So eventually he lets me out of the car and I'm just like, that man would have like murdered me or something. Like what? I'm actually genuinely scared. So I get to the airport. I'm in the line for TSA and I see this dude that looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. I've never seen TSA actually arrest anybody, ever. I saw TSA arrest this man because apparently in the bag that was going to be his carry-on, he stole a hotel nightstand lamp.
Like, zoinks, man. I just needed the lamp.
And he starts screaming at them. He's like, hey, man, if I want to take what's mine, it's mine, man. And they're like, sir, this can't even go in like the bag you check in. Like something's on. I think they found drugs on them or something. But I just remember seeing him like toss the lamp behind him. He's like, here, you want me to bring the lamp? He takes the lamp, throws it behind him, almost hits somebody else. He's like, there, the lamp's gone, man. I got rid of the lamp. So I'm watching. Everyone's just silent. We get through there and I hear some other like fight break out. I'm just thinking, this is like the most dangerous airport I've ever heard of. Like, the only time I've ever heard of fights breaking out at airports like this is when my dad was deployed to certain parts of Africa, and he was like at the Somalia airport. Like, that is the closest thing I heard to it. So I've got a hippie over here throwing lamps at people. I've got some random Karen types getting into fights with their husband. I would love to go back to Vegas. Hint, hint, Sean. I would love to go back to Vegas. But that was that experience where it's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I got to do it with my friends. And I should not get plastered and go on the strip to Taco Bell by myself.
We stay together. We go nowhere by ourselves.
Ape together. Strong.
Ape strong together.
Strong.
Degenerate strong together.
Degenerate
strong.
Strong. That's that story. That's all I got, guys. Who else has one?
Amazing.
Well, Doyle, what do you got to wrap up?
You got anything?
I'll leave the sorority frat one out, but I'll talk about the one where I picked up my friend in the middle of between Phoenix and Tucson.
Yes.
So okay, this is like a random Friday night. I had practice late for lacrosse. Fine. So we went. I got home at like 10:30. Some guys were like, "Hey, we're gonna go up to the casinos up near Phoenix. You want to come?" I'm like, "We have a game tomorrow." They're like, "Yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry." I'm like, "Nah, I think I'll stay back. I'm just gonna chill, watch the movies. You guys do you." And I get a call random at 3 a.m. from my buddy Nanini, and he's like, "Dude, I need your fucking help, man. I don't know where I'm at." I'm like, "What do you mean? Just send me your location via iMessage." He's like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. Fuck shit. Wait, hold on. I forget the name of the Indian that he was talking to on the street." I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" He's like, "Oh, I'm talking to this Indian guy. I've been talking to him for an hour. He convinced me to call you." I'm like, "What's going on with you right now?" He's like, "I've had a lot to drink. Nolan and some other guys got mad at me and dropped me off here in the middle of, where am I at? What's the number of the Indian reservation? I'm just in the middle of Phoenix and Tucson." And I'm like, "Can you just send me your location?" Literally, he's in between where the Indian reservation is. And I pick him up. And no joke, he's sleeping on the Indian guy's crotch next to the bathroom. That's like at least.
So it's like face first on his lap, crotch focused
in his crotch. And I poke Nini, and he's like, "Oh my God, Doyle, you showed up." I'm like, "Yeah, I showed up. You needed help." And he's like, "I didn't think you'd actually come and get me." And I'm like, "Do you realize where you're sleeping?" He's like, "Oh, this is my buddy. It was like Chick something Blackhawk."
This is my friend Kickapoo Blackhawk.
Pickaboo Blackhawk down. Pickaboo Blackhawk down.
I call Nolan while I'm driving up, and he's like, he was just being a complete asshole. We kicked him out of the car. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to videotape. And I wish I had the video still. But I videotaped the whole time I'm picking up Nini, and I walk up, I see him. I'm like, oh God, this is him. This is him. This is him. And I show him the video probably 45 to an hour before we had our late game at 6. And I'm like, "Do you know what happened last night?" He's like, "I know you took me home from somewhere. I'm guessing like maybe I went out or something." And I'm like, "Dude, you went to the casino up in Phoenix with a couple of guys, got dropped off in the middle of Phoenix and Tucson in the reservation. And you were planted in Chiriquoy Indian Blackhawk's crotch." He's like, "Did I blow him?" I'm like,
"Yes." "Yes, you did."
How did your mouth? Did you brush your teeth when I took you home? He's like, no.
You might want to get tested. Just in case.
Congrats, man. You have AIDS.
No.
Congrats, man. You have the ancient curse called herpes. What?
From my people to you.
And this is the funniest thing.
Or 2021 version. You have the ancient curse called COVID. What?
This is how COVID-19 started.
The Santa Clara University.
No, this was his predecessor, COVID-18.
Garrett, this is the funny part. So we beat Santa Clara University, overtime winner. Nini shot the winning goal, and we were like, "How the fuck did you do this?" Blah, blah, blah. He takes his shirt off. What is written on his shirt or on his chest in Sharpie? It was the Indian guy's name and number, saying, "Call me white Snooky," or what's the candy bar?
Snickers.
Yeah, call me white Snickers.
Oh my God.
His number was there on his chest, and we're all like, I realize this, and there's only a few people that realize, okay, it might be someone from Tucson. No, we knew about what he did that night. That was that Indian guy's number.
Oh my God.
Not to confuse people with Zed's version of Indian. This is
God.
Yeah, those types.
I'm dot, not feather.
Oh my gosh. The Chronicles of White Snicker. My gosh. I think this just wraps up what we need to know. It's that life was crazy before all this stuff. Life will be crazy during this, and life will be crazy afterwards. So if you think that your life is probably a sketch comedy like The Truman Show, where other people are just watching your life get strange, understand it's strange for everybody. Guys, thank you so much. We've got so much more coming at you here on The Run. Thank you to everyone at the We Are Libertarians Network. And as always, be good, be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Good night.